Welcome to All Souls Unitarian Church. I am Taylor Ortiz, and I am delighted to be your worship host this morning. We're grateful to have all of you here today with us, whether in person or online. No matter what you believe, who you love, or your background and circumstances, you are welcome. We have the joy of coming together, and we want to make sure that everyone feels welcome here. So please reach out and greet those who are near you this morning. And hello and good morning to those of you who are joining us on Zoom this morning or watching from our YouTube stream. On a quick practical note, you'll find listed in your order of worship several important announcements about upcoming activities at All Souls. Please check the inserts for details. If this is your first visit here, please sign our guest book in the narthex near the front entrance so that we can keep you posted with our weekly newsletter. You can also find information in the pamphlets in all the pews, and please join us for social hour after the service. There's coffee and a lovely spread in the back, and we'd love to chat. And now, is this entering? Next? Yes.
Yes, of course, yeah. Where's the... This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature. It is a house of friendship, a haven in trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle. It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person. It offers a platform for the free voice, for declaring, both in times of security and danger, the full and undivided conflict of opinion. It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers. It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handiworks. It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present in visions of growth and progress. This house is a cradle of our dreams, the workshop of our common endeavors. If you'll join me, or if you'll let me continue with the chalice lighting. I apologize. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. Albert Schweitzer. If you'll join us in the hymn number 17, Every Night and Every Morn, and Rise as You Are Able.
Please join me in reading together out loud our All Souls Covenant, which you'll find in your order of service. In this house, we covenant with one another to build our connections on a foundation of love, hope, and faith, to accept responsibility for our individual acts and work together to promote equality, justice, and peace, to stand on the side of love, embracing the liberation of the oppressed and championing all movements to end discrimination, to communicate with kindness and support, and to serve with compassion and commitment, to listen respectfully with an open mind, and value our diversity as a source of our communal strength, to learn together and grow together, generously sharing our time, talents, and treasures, to celebrate the joys of discovery, embracing the fullest measure of our humanity from the wonder of youth to the wisdom of age, to openly share our laughter and our tears, showing reverence for the divine and all that is. And now, for a story for all ages.
In this, you will notice that even with all the troubles, this youngster has a safe place to land throughout his Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I get out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Miss Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too, and I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Miss Dixon liked Paul's pictures of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell Paul, and I wasn't his best friend, said he wasn't my best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Mayo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream falls apart off the cone and it lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds. Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had a coconut sprinkles on top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Oops. That's what it was, because after school my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week I said, I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. And while we were waiting for Mom to go to the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And the pages are sticking. It's a no good, very bad. Let's see. While I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes, but then the shoe man said we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at the house, at the office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be expected for my elbow. He also said, don't fool around with my phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Next one. There were lima beans for dinner. I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV. I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain. I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says, some days are like that. Even in Australia.
Every week in our church, we take up an offering which gives us an opportunity to exercise the generosity of spirit that supports All Souls and its many ministries. We see this act of giving, of growing more generous in our hearts and in our actions, as essential to our spiritual well-being. We will now receive this morning's offering.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like an Israelite. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the
Individually and together, we are building a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy. Each one of you, by your commitment of time, talent, and treasure, helps make that grand vision real.
Good morning. Nice to see you all. Today I start with, I am a Unitarian. I am a Universalist. I am here today to share my journey as to how that happened. How I was helped and cared for by a church community that found me both important and amusing, kind of an enigma, really. But I was liked, me, just the same. Today I will share something I have recounted more than a few times, that eventually it occurred to me was definitely an anchor in my UU self. It began early, really early, leading to understanding of how I came to my UU practices, and I could soon hold firmly. It includes knowing that accountability, compliance, shared dignity, grace, and expectation of open and honesty is a good thing. Here's where it surfaced, without my direct agreement, and it has stayed with me from the first experience on the dais. As a PK, preacher's kid, and the oldest of 3 sibs, I was counted on a lot. In this particular scenario that happened frequently every church year, I had a part in the Sunday service, me, by age 6. Now, kudos to whoever figured out that I could not be the lead most of the time in these intergenerational services, because it's not my thing to be up front and center. Yet, I was to participate 100%, whether it was one line or paragraphs of lines. Yet, unlike anyone else in the K through 12 Sunday school, I was expected to be prepared in a singular fashion. I won't bother you with the full narrative of script, lucky you. I do have a brief one for a view of my experience. Yet, I understood I was completely to own it and deliver it. So let's just say it's Easter Children's Sunday moment, and my lines are, I am the bunny of spring, the bunny who gives and delights others. I am faithful to my obligations. As the Sunday approaches about 4 weeks out, my father drives us over to the church on Saturdays, asks me to stand on the dais and recite the lines he has been reminding me to learn for weeks. And here goes the 100% commitment to the community. I did not know that that was what it was, but my father did. I am on the edge of the dais at the top of the steps. He is at the bottom of the steps, and he would stand right in front of me, eye to eye. Now, Kay, I will help you rehearse, and as you get more able to repeat the lines, I will back up a little and then a little more as you speak from the diaphragm, breathing with pace and delivery. You can be ready for Sunday service. Now, through the next 40 minutes, which seemed like a day, we rehearse. I say the lines, he helps me with the oration, and as I repeat my lines, he says, now remember, do not speak from the throat, speak from the diaphragm, reach out to the sanctuary. He backs up, keeping kind eye contact and a hand cuffed over his ear. He continues to encourage me with saying, good, good, nice, nice. Project your voice so everyone can hear you. Reach the choir loft. Okay, Dad. And as he steps back in the center aisle with the support, I am saying the lines. He is now at the back of the double doors of the sanctuary saying, fill the room, Kay, with your voice. Good, good, nice, nice. Okay, Dad. This was at 6 years old. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, 13, 14, 15 years old. I got this. I know how to get this done. And that was my experience. To be in community because they are counting on me, and I'm a PK. So I share that with you as there are a lot of feelings behind that. Am I confident? Am I loved? Am I regarded? Am I going to get through Easter? I did get quite a bit of affirmation. My peers in Sunday school did as well. Church loved us. We felt it all the time. As I was not the most thespian of the cohort, still, I did my 100%. Although in the moment, maybe it didn't feel like that, I knew that I was to give my 100%. However, I knew early on I was a UU. And for me, I see it as how UUs put some fine-tuning to the golden rule, with practicing principles and determined demonstration of their values. We know we are to expand and extend out of the box by comforting the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. As change in our action growth is our covenant. From here, I have some brief statements that describe and offer awareness of what we practice together. These are only meant to have, to be how we each find meaning in our UU journey, and not to imply that this is a complete list or that each of the ones I mentioned today we all ascribe to. Instead, it is UU statements and see what you think. Such as, our congregations are aware of how we feel towards each other and what we are to do to improve, to support, to be in the moment of love. The power of faith practiced in our relationships is greater than any prayer. Prayer for our authentic selves is our work, and it is awesome. Intercession prayer is to reach for others. I call it the horizontal prayer. In my view, vertical prayer is maybe not so important, as it can infer that there is an expectation to reach to an unknown divine that can be an unpredictable and often questions our love and regard for self and others. So intercession it is. Instead, intercession prayer is for and to others who we are concerned for, those we love, and at times towards those we are somewhat uncertain about, yet want to be helpful. The depth of our own knowing is how our faith holds us, is at this core, an acknowledgement that we need no dogma, no sin, no guilt, no judgment, yet rather to be of use and to be intentional in our affirmations of faith. Instead, we have a deep and unabiding, indeed unique, resilience in our faith practices. It helps us with the existential and the spiritual of everyday connections. It can be breathtaking. With these statements and those that you are considering in your core faith practices, we are asked often enough to share, well, what do you believe? How does that show up for you? Where is your authority? I offer that we can say with some modicum of assurance that we believe in the dignity and worth of every person, that we trust our process of being good humans. Our faith practices come from action and connection and support for others. My authority is the knowing from within me, knowing that I am to be in action to practice what I believe. We look to ourselves and to each other, affirming that we must be particularly intentional with our Unitarian faith practices and our Universalist faith practices. It is an effort for sure, effort of kindness. Kindness is the action that creates the foundation of safety. Are we always aware of that? Are we helped to become more aware of creating a safe space that requires a consistent and welcoming presence? I leave this to you. Does action fit our UU faith practices? In my rehearsed lines, this was the bunny of spring and the message of giving with delight for a purposeful presentation of self. Was I understanding that? That obligation is a purpose? That I am obligated to use the principles and values with my church community and beyond my church community? Have I been helped to understand that it does give tenfold over when we set out and act on our faith practices? Because always action leads with kindness. It is action, obligation, kindness, positive regard is action. And then here we are, leading to spiritual action. Action that is faith in myself and others. Ah, Spring Bunny, thank you. When we meet spirituality full on, it sustains us, gives us confidence that we already have the knowing as we experience quiet yet powerful moments of awe. Some of this knowing is that which we do not have answers to is just fine. It's just fine. We embrace doubt. We have a knowing that protecting our energy is practicing spirituality. When we use time to ponder, reflect, become aware of something internal from what the external is giving, we are in awe. Our UU faith has identified 8 spheres of spirituality. That's quite a lot. And we are doing most of them. Only we might not be attending to the frequency and the fabulous results of our daily capacity for spiritual moments, but we try. This is where we can often recognize that as UUs, we can comfortably embrace doubt. we care about now and how to do now. Maybe the after this life is not for us to be worried about. We want to do our 100% together in love amid the solid 8 principles and the 7 values that we promise ourselves to pursue, reach, and resolve in our covenant. It is our common language together, our personal life coaching methods of sharing and growing. I hope it helpful to add that we evolve as human beings right to the end. It's almost coinciding with the decades of life. Now, the first 20 years are pretty intense to keep up with, yet once we have that as humans, we've got that down rote. Being in our 20s is remarkable. Then our 30s. Oh, and don't let me get started on our 40s. And yet we are evolving. And as we can see that for every passing decade comes astounding awareness, growth, change, seeking truth and beauty, and action that meets our spiritual self. We want to feel like there is a place to care about our spiritual self and find understanding. Here, together, we often do. With a guide for understanding spirituality, we see every day those moments of opportunity and obligations to act, from attending to our health, walking, eating, resting, walking again, or to our attention to others and common life activities. These are spiritual steps. Our worship together is to be that we promise ourselves to pursue, reach, and resolve that which feels bigger than us. May I suggest that we look to the intention and the attention you give to yourself and others and make adjustments as it becomes clear to you that adjustments are growth, are valuable, and add to your spirit. Trust the process. We've often said to each other that there is no handbook on being humans, but there is. There is indeed. It comes from our own authority, your own knowing of right and wrong, good and bad, now and later, how and how not, and the action you think through that makes you know you are on the path of a very big journey. Let's give ourselves a robust life in our UU church community and see where we can be confident, where we are affirmed, accepted, cared about, with kindness and love first. Then, with all our foibles that need support with firm, gentle reminders, it becomes clear that action in our self-work is for us, not against us. And to be here together is icing on the cake. And so in conclusion, this embodies who I am and how I make my choices for me, and how others are doing the same, which is supported by our beloved church community. I like me. I was helped to like me. I paid attention to how that could engender my growth, my sense of spirituality, which emerges as our faith practices are with each other together. And I am still working on it. Plenty to consider as I stand on the dais, an all too familiar space, and I say my lines ending in, I am faithful in my obligations. Spring Bunny. K, chin up, from the diaphragm, fill the sanctuary so everyone can hear you. This is belonging.
And now, please rise in body and spirit as you are able, and join us as we sing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. and we're going to be doing verses 1 through 4 on that.
Gentle, angry people, we are singing for us. We are gentle, angry people, we are singing for us. We are justice-seeking. Singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people. We are singing for our lives. We are young and all together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives.
Now is the time in our service for sharing